Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second of our Fleetwood Town fans forums this evening. We won't mess about because we've got plenty of people already watching the stream, which is great to see. So we'll introduce our guests straight away. So first of all, our chairman, Andy Pilley. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, Will. Good evening, everybody.
And then also we've got a couple of players to throw in the mix as well tonight. And the first one is a young player that I hope you've all really enjoyed watching this season. He's burst into the team through the youth policy. He's a lad that we've had at the club for quite a while and that everybody's really excited about. Good evening, James. I think he's there. He's might be asleep. There we go. Good to see you, mate. You had us worried for a minute there. Another player, another hugely popular player who's had some good news to share this week. Our goalkeeper, Alex Cairns, who's celebrating a new 2-year contract at Fleetwood. Evening, Alex.
Evening, Will. Evening, everybody.
We've also got our chief exec, Steve Kerwood, who'll be bouncing in and out as he normally does to answer everything. Evening, Steve.
Evening.
And last but not least, obviously some good news today. Fleetwood Town have extended the contract to make Simon Grayson our permanent head coach. Good evening, Simon.
Evening, Will. Good evening, everyone.
So that's our cast. We've rolled out everybody for you tonight. So hopefully we'll have a really good night. And after today's news, I mean, the opening question goes to Andy Pilley, really. You've decided to make Simon Grayson your permanent head coach. What's the thinking behind that?
I think the thinking is when Simon first came to the club, we were very honest and we said, look, we need to know it's going to work for both parties. We need to know that you're gonna like us and you're gonna be a good fit for us. So it was reciprocal. It's worked really, really well. I think recently, in particular, we've had some excellent form. I see the players with a smile on their face. We've got a spring in the step. We're winning points. We're winning games, earning lots of points. So I'm delighted to have Simon on a permanent basis, and I look forward to what he can bring to the football club in the future.
And I suppose the same question to Simon. Obviously, this was a two-way street. When Andy offered you the role on a permanent basis, what was your first thoughts and what made you accept?
Look, I had no hesitation in signing when Andy offered me the full-time job. We did, as the owner mentioned there, we agreed when it first came, we'd both have a look at each other, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it from day one. Felt really welcomed by people behind the scenes, not that you see too often, but people at the training ground on a daily basis. Players have been very good, and I've really enjoyed being back to work. It's a great football club to be at, great facilities, and the players have responded to what we've asked them to do. And let's hope that we just keep improving from now to the end of the season, and then again next year as well. So it's really excited, really delighted to be here, and hopefully we can have a long, successful partnership.
And James, throwing you in the deep end a little bit for a couple of appearances and straight into a fans forum. How's it been for you making that step from the under-23s and the under-18s into the senior squad? Is there a delay on James?
Oh no, I can't hear it.
Yeah, Steph, and obviously I've done all right. It's only the first part. Can you still hear me?
Yep, keep going. Yep.
Yeah, and I think it was. It's been nice to see everyone happy and enjoying football, and feel like I'm in the same spot.
Good to hear, mate. I don't know if your Wi-Fi is a little bit ropey over there, but there seems to be a little bit of a delay with James. But we'll move on to Alex Cairns. Alex, you've committed yourself to a 2-year contract, one that the fans have responded really, really well to. First of all, the response of the fans must be great for you. And secondly, what made you commit your future? Because you would have had other offers.
Obviously the fans' response was brilliant to see, and it's good for me to know that they all want me in that position, want me to be at the football club. So that's great to see. But obviously, committing to the football club is easy. Nobody sees the work that goes on behind the scenes. They just see what they see on a Saturday or a Tuesday night. So, making the commitment to the club was pretty easy decision. Of course there was other offers out there, but I'm enjoying my football here, and I have done for the last few years. So, why would I want to change it?
Great to hear. So everybody who's watching so far, we've got hundreds watching already. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The comments are just starting to pile in now, which is great to see. We'll read them out as the night goes ahead. And already Jordan Taylor's asked if Cairns wants a pint of the King, so it's going well already. Well, you might as well deal with that one, Cairns. Do you want to go for a pint with Jordan? I know he asked everybody.
Listen, you get me, you get Suits, you get the rest of the boys. We'll go and have a pint with Jordan if that makes you feel better. Because I know I'll enjoy that when we're all back down from lockdown.
Brilliant. Good to see. Right, so we'll move on to the questions. We'll start with, we've been asking for people to send questions in for the last couple of days, and we've also got the ones that are appearing on the stream to the right. First question is for Andy Pilley. It's from Paul Myersco, and he's talking about investment in the team next season. Andy, is there going to be more investment into the team next season, or are you just looking at bringing youth through from now on?
Listen, I love winning football games. It's a very addictive feeling, and we've been hugely successful over the last 17 years that I've been at the club. And what I want sporting success primarily. Of course, I want to see some of the younger lads come through to the first team. I want to see them be developed and become the stars of the future. I think that's really important for a club like Fleetwood, particularly with the facilities we've got at Poolfoot. But I think it's everybody needs to know and needs to understand that we're really committed. We've already had recruitment meeting on Monday night. We're identifying targets for next season. We've already got several offers out there with players who are currently within the squad, and we're determined to be right up there next season. We want to make sure that we've got the right players who are familiar with the system that Simon wants to play. And we're certainly not any suggestion that we're on some sort of cost-cutting measure and we're just going to play kids is inaccurate. We're committed to the younger players, but we're also going to have some really experienced, quality, tried and tested players at League One and above that will be playing for Fleetwood next season.
And Simon, obviously you've been a big part of that recruitment talk already. Are you already making moves for next season, and how those talks going so far?
Yeah, look, as the owner said there, we had a recruitment meeting with about half a dozen of us talking about things. I think you're constantly looking at players for next year within your own group. You're obviously looking to see what's out of contract, what loan deals, and potential for next year. So we're going to try and bring a squad that has got youthfulness, exuberance, infectiousness, but with some experience as well. I really like working with a group of players at this moment in time. I think what you'll find is that there will be a large part of this group will be staying. Like a lot of football clubs, there'll be new players leaving, there'll be current players leaving with new ones coming in. It's down to us to bring the right ones in that are going to come to the football club for the right reasons and improve us and hopefully take us to at least into the playoffs for next year. And just to reiterate what the owner said there is that it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're 35 and they can do a job, then we'll sign them. If they're 18 and they're good enough, they'll go into the team. And that's testament to the academy recently that we've got people like James, Harrison Holgate, Sheridan Morris, who else is in there? Ryan Raddell's in amongst the squad. So we've got 4 or 5 young players that have contributed over the last few weeks. And that's testament to the academies as well, but ultimately they have to be good enough. I'm not going to play them just because they're coming through the system, but if we can put together other players that have got a bit of experience but also a lot of quality, then I think we've got a real good chance for next year. So we're really looking forward to it. And if I didn't have the ambition to try and take this club forward with the owner, then I don't think either of us would be in this position talking about a new deal like we have done today.
Great. And then James, I don't know if your internet's caught up yet. Give us a wave if you're on time with us. Perfect. You're back in the game. This is one for Hilly, and it's a nice comment. This is from Mitch Thornton, one of the commenters. And he said, James, you inspired my son to play well and join a junior team. You know, when you're coming through and you're a young lad in the squad and you're from the academy, do you realise that you inspire the local kids? And does that, make you proud to hear that you're inspiring local kids to play football?
Yeah, it does. I don't actually realise it because it never gets mentioned or anything, but I always hope to do so. Like, obviously, the pathway that the way I've come through into the side and been given opportunities, and sometimes not maybe taking them and been brought out of the team and then been put back in. I feel like I've done well to do that, and to see that kids are now looking at me as a role model is exciting to see.
Good answer, Alex. There's loads of comments coming in for you. A lot of the questions are about your new contract. One from Sean Young says congratulations. Obviously, you've had a little bit of a tough time. You've been out the squad. We can't really dodge that. At what point did you think I Am Fleet was number one again, and do you feel your confidence is now back to where it was maybe a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's football in a nutshell. If every footballer went through, an upward curve, let's say, there'd be an unbelievable footballer. It's part and parcel of the game. I understand that. So some managers, some coaches, might not be having me. I completely understand that and get that. But I've 100% always backed my own ability, backed what I'm like around the training ground, back what I do in the training ground, and when it comes to a Saturday, I put myself in the best position to make sure I've got the shirt, and I can honestly say in or out of the team, that's exactly what I do, and I try my best. I do everything that I know I should do to be in the team, and at the end of the day, it's up to the manager to pick me, and I'm really enjoying my football at the minute. Really feel like I'm start taking things to sort of another level in my own personal game, and me and Dave Lucas work a lot on certain aspects of the game and what's required for this league, and what gets the best out of me, and and obviously the gaffer and Dunny work on certain aspects of the game, of what basically let the game come to me, and I'm the goalkeeper at the end of the day. My job is to stop the ball going in the net, and the more times I do that, the better, really.
And you'll see a comment, Tyler Dodd. He talks about your contract again. What was that main factor? Was that belief back in you, and you felt like you were at home again?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the belief was everything. I can honestly say around January time, I was looking to leave the football club. That was definitely in my head at the beginning of January, because I wasn't playing at that moment in time, and I was at a stage in my career where I thought I'd earned the right to play and earned the respect to play. So of course I was thinking about leaving the club at that point. Then things changed. Things at the football club changed, which obviously meant I had a fresh start at the football club again. And I'm all about fresh starts and taking the opportunity. And thankfully, Simon Wiles before the new gaffer came in, and then obviously the new gaffer has stuck with me and give me that belief to really kick on. And I'm really enjoying myself at the minute.
Great to hear. We've had a couple of questions, Steve. If we can bring Steve Kerwood in, one from Martin Woodcock, and one that we're just going to put on the screen here from Jonathan Niblock. They're all about the pitch, really. Obviously, we're used to having a bit of a carpet at Highbury, and this season, for a few people are asking why it doesn't look in the best condition. Is that something you can explain?
Well, it's not probably served us too poorly with our recent run of results, but no. I get it. When you stood up in the parkside, you see the bare patches, and it is poor. I think it's just purely the age of the pitch. It's about 10 years old now. To get one of those carpets costs upwards of about 750,000 quid. Spending money on soil is not probably what we all want to be doing, but there will become a point at some point where it does need replacing. There is a programme of maintenance in the summer. We are having some changes around in our ground staff as well. We've got a new head groundsman coming in a couple of weeks. So we are changing a few things in that area and summer makeover. But yeah, ultimately it will need changing at some point. So yeah, we'll do far more in the summer.
Good to hear. This one's for Simon and Andy. We'll start with Andy first of all, from Jack Hamer, who's watching on Facebook this evening. Question for both Simon and Andy. How impressed have you been with Dan Batty? And is there a chance that there could be a longer contract on the table for him? First, Andy Pilley.
I've been hugely impressed with Dan. He looks to me to be a midfielder who's got an abundance of talent. He's a midfielder who looks like he can tackle and spray the ball about as well. And clearly, we've got to be interested in keeping a player like that at our football club. My personal view is I think he's well worth a conversation with, but I will be guided by Simon. This is his area, but the figures stack up, is certainly a conversation that I would approve us having a conversation about.
And Simon from.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, look, I like Dan Batty before he even came to Fleetwood. So then on deadline day, when there was talk about him coming, I certainly said definitely do the opportunity to bring him to the football club. And he's done everything that I expected him to do. He's played with a lot of energy, a lot of quality. He's constantly on the move. He's just like a road runner. He's got so much energy about the place, and he's real good trainer, wants to learn, wants to develop. And obviously we took him on that short-term contract just to see where everything was going with everybody. But look, he's certainly a player that I would like to keep at the football club. And I'd like to think that we'll be in negotiations with him and his agent very soon, if not already.
A more general one for Alex Cairns. This is another one that's come from Facebook this evening. Lewis Taylor, question for Cairnsy. Who is the best keeper in the world, in your honest opinion, and why?
At this moment in time, it's a toss-up between Manuel Neuer and Ter Stegen. They're my favorite. They might not be the best, but they're my favourites at the minute. I just like their style of goalkeeping. It's simple as that. They both play on the front foot. They make worldies constantly, and Neuer's a bit crazy as well, which I like to see. So, no, that I'd say either Neuer or Ter Stegen for me.
I always thought all goalies are crazy. That was part of the job, but is that they're footballers, that they're goalkeepers?
I'm one of the normal ones, Will.
I know that. Goalkeepers. A lot of goalkeepers these days are good with the ball at their feet. Is that something that, as a goalie, you think is a big part of the game now, being able to actually play football as well as make saves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd have an argument with most outfield players about I think I could play up front quite comfortably compared to if you were to put them in my shoes. I don't think they could do it, but that's just me. But no, yeah, he's definitely a massive part of the game. Without a shadow of a doubt now, he's become really huge. So something that I enjoy doing as well.
Will, can we just check that Cairns has not actually been drinking tonight before he comes on with that playing centre forward?
Well, there's only one way to find out, I suppose. So training tomorrow, finishing session, see if he's any good. Question for Andy. This one's from Wayne Spink. And it's quite an interesting one. This, a bit of a deeper one. Andy Pilley, is Fleetwood Town Football Club as important and as exciting to you as the day you took over?
I'd say probably more so. And the reason why is when I first took over, I didn't really know what I was getting myself involved with. And I think my love of Fleetwood has grown over the years. Initially, I thought, right, well, I'm going to see where this takes me. And that was back in the Northwest Counties. And gradually, you fall in love with the club. And it becomes a huge part of your life. This season is really, really strange. It is extraordinary. It's not the same. I don't believe without the supporters being there. But still, it's a massive part of my life. And as far as I'm concerned, it always will be. I cannot see my interest ever waning. Fleetwood Football Club it feels like it's part of my family. And yeah, it's every bit as big as what it's ever been for me. Is my answer to that question.
I'm sure that'll be music to the ears of the Fleetwood fans. This is one that in another time might sound quite personal, Andy, but I know there's a business side to why you do keep going on away holiday. Ben Gunn has asked, why does Andy keep going to South Africa and Kenya?
Right, okay. Well, first and foremost, South Africa, I have a business there. And whilst the lockdown has been going on in the UK, it made perfect sense for me to spend time out in South Africa developing and growing that business, which is open and is a huge part really of my UK organisation. It supplies a lot of resource to my UK businesses, and that's the reason why I was primarily out there. That said, I have been doing a lot of football business out there. I've met football clubs out there, numerous football clubs, and I'm promoting our international academy to a variety of different groups, to parents, to academies, to schools, and this is the opportunity to come across and to get involved in our international academy. This is a pro experience campaign whereby our elite coaches will train international players. They'll get all of the expertise from our coaches in our first team and our under-18s and our development squad will. They'll get individual performance plans, and hopefully we can find some rough diamonds out there and we can try and find some professional football. Whether that will be with us or not depends on the passport, the visa situation. If not, we would be using our network of contacts to source a professional club, perhaps in Europe, whereby we can place them. And it's very much a win-win situation for all parties involved.
And I suppose this, pool foot, all the other bits and bobs that you've built onto the football club, this is all part of your long-term aim of making the club sustainable, I suppose.
Well, definitely will, yes. It's really important that we maximise pool foot. It does disappoint me sometimes. If I look out of my office and see empty football pitches, we've got fantastic facilities and I want to see them get used. And we have to develop revenue streams. This is a revenue stream, but it's also an opportunity to find and to unearth some rough diamonds, to polish them and to maybe get them into Fleetwood Football Club or somewhere else on the continent. So it's very much a business model that we believe in. It's growing all the time, and if it wasn't for the pandemic, I think we could feasibly have 100 people, both boys, girls, kids, adults, involved in that academy. And once the pandemic's fully over, I expect it to grow to those levels and beyond.
Great to see. I'm just looking.
Steve has got a question there. Well, sorry, a comment.
Steve, do you want to comment on the International Academy?
Yeah, just very quickly. Yeah, I think it's obviously we've got a massive link with Rossall School. There's 40 boys training there every day from all around the globe in our name, something which is going on. One of the few income streams we've got going, which is fantastic. And we're hoping to grow that to over 100 kids who come in on the back of using our academy expertise in the English football model to develop. So that's going on as we speak every single day. We've got another 50 boys lined up to come back soon as we are out of restrictions to enjoy more of a professional experience at the pool foot training ground. Again, all built up through worldwide contacts. And it is really exciting when you get out there and you realise how much English football sells. You know, Fleetwood's not the big brand, but you'd be surprised when you go abroad, really, how much people appreciate what we have got to offer. And as we've spoken about, our academy is bearing fruit. And why would we not want to impart some of our knowledge and expertise and develop kids who want to see it? So it's a real exciting part of the football club, Matt.
Great to hear. Now we're going to invite somebody from outside, Ben Knapman. I think a lot of you know Nappers. He's one of our bloggers, and it's his birthday today. So we wish you a very happy birthday, Ben, and good to see you on here. I've just watched your video. Everybody's not seen. You've just done a video about Simon Grayson's appointment. So if anybody wants to go and watch that afterwards, give them a little plug. So go on, Ben. You've got the floor. You can ask whatever, well, within reason, whatever you want to anyone. Go for it.
Yeah, just a question for Andy, really. How hopeful are you that fans can come back fully next season? Obviously, League One and League Two, it's not going to be sustainable for it to go on how it was. Are you hopeful that we can get back to Highbury with possibility of away fans as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, personally, I'm desperate for that to happen. Football has not been the same at all without supporters. We've had some great games recently. The Ipswich game, whereby we dominated, the Doncaster game, whereby I thought we were outstanding. And without a crowd, it's just not the same. It really, really isn't. And there's nothing quite like the roar of the crowd. I think it squeezes that extra effort out of the players, and it makes football quite so special, be it on a Saturday or a Tuesday night. Surely, with vaccinations, with the light at the tunnel shining so brightly now, we are going to be able to get crowds back because we desperately need it. And we need it for the togetherness of the football without fans is nothing really. And I think football supporters need it for their enjoyment and their quality of life. It's a massive part of people's existence, and it's a massive part of their quality of life.
Ben, you got any more?
Yeah, so one for Simon. Since you've come in, sorry, a bit nervous. So Simon, since you've come in, you've got one of the best defences in League One. Is that something that you want to pride on? If we can keep a clean sheet, then if we score, we win the game. It's simple as that. Is that something that you're wanting to work on going forward?
Well, I think I want to try and get the right balance between being hard to play against defensively, where we don't give soft goals away. You want your defenders to defend, your goalkeepers to make saves when they have to do. The midfield players working tirelessly to get tackles in and staying with runners, and from the front, the strikers doing exactly that as well. That they set it off. I think you've seen the last few weeks that the players have played with a tempo when we're out of possession, trying to close the opposition down. So I think if we can get that side of the game right, then I always think we've got players in the team and potentially next year as well that are going to go and win us games. So it's the right balance. I want to be able to score plenty of goals, keep many clean sheets. And if you do that, you've got a good opportunity of being a successful team. And I think if you ask the players, we work hard on sort of when we're out of possession with the ball, but also I'll give them a freedom when they get into the top end of the pitch to go and express themselves and show the talents that they've got, whether it's a striker or a wing back or a midfield players. As long as they make the right decisions. If somebody's shooting from 30 yards and there's a better pass on, then they might get a different Simon Grayson to Werby if they made the right decision. So it's the right balance. Do whatever it takes to win football matches, but certainly believe that we're in this business to entertain as well as sort of show resilience as well to the team. Because I think when you've seen the team recently, Gillingham, for example, we had to really defend with our lives and defend second balls and balls in the box, and Alex making saves and James and these other defenders putting the bodies on the line. So you have to show different characteristics to win games, and if we can get many of these characteristics right, then we'll have a real good opportunity of being successful.
I agree with that. And Alex, you're only 5 starts away from becoming actually the record starting appearances for Fleetwood. That should actually do it at Doncaster. How much do these stats mean to you? Obviously, you get 67 clean sheets, which is like 1 in every 2.7 games, which is an incredible stat. Those stats, does that kind of spur you on to get better and better and keep getting these appearances, really?
Is that for me?
Cairnsy, sorry.
I think there's a delay with Alex. He'll probably answer in a second.
George has been drinking.
Yeah. We've lost him. We might have lost him, Ben. Do you want to go on to James's question? It was a good question, that as well. All your stats.
I know. I've been working them out.
Never mind.
James, obviously, I think it's 28 games for you this season. You broke into the team. You started a lot of games. Does this kind of show for you, to carry on playing these games? Is that the way that you want to carry on playing? You want to be in Fleetwood's first team. Do you think you've set that example now when young kids can come to and go, look at James Hill, he was in the under-16s, under-17s a few years ago, Harrison Holgate the same. Do you keep working on that platform I want to inspire others and carry on playing in the first team for Fleetwood?
Yeah, that's bang on exactly how we want it to be, because obviously there's a lot of us in the 23s group that want to break in and make an impact on the team, and I thought when I've been given my chance, I've made an impact, and that's what I want to carry on doing. I want to be looked at as one of the main players on the team sheet, or why if a question why I'm not in the team, I just want to make sure that I'm staying in the team and giving people a question like how can we take his shirt off him because he's working so hard in training. That's basically my mentality. I just want to work harder than others and try and stay in the team and play as many games as I can to become the next thing where I'm the first person written down on the team sheet. That's just how I go forward with my mentality.
Very good to have.
Great, thanks for that, Ben, and happy birthday from everybody.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Thanks.
Happy birthday, Ben.
So Alex Cairns has just texted me. He doesn't know what's going on. I don't know if he's not paid his Wi-Fi bill, but he's on his way back. He'll be here shortly. Bit more of a serious one. This is for either Richard Wood or Andy Pilley and Simon Grayson. This is by Richard Wood. They're asking about Charlie Mulgrew. Anybody who's picked up any of the Scottish papers today might have seen that Mulgrew featured in the news today for allegedly breaking COVID lockdown rules. Simon, do you want to?
Look, it wasn't great when you pick up the paper today about it all. We obviously got informed and saw sort of some of the video evidence yesterday. And obviously there's going to be an internal investigation from ourselves and Blackburn Rovers to see sort of actually what went on, speaking to Charlie Mulgrew. But ultimately, I think you've seen the quotes from Charlie today that he's obviously devastated that he's let himself down, he's let our football club down, and many, many other people. It's just not acceptable in this day and age where everybody is desperate to do something, and then you've got to abide by the rules. And it was a message that we relayed to the players again, that they're representing our football club, they're representing the nation, that they've got to make sure that they adhere to these rules. It's been very difficult for not just footballers, probably more so, it's more difficult for other people who have not been able to get out and about and do what they wanted to do. At least we're, as a footballers and involved in football, we've got a release every day at training and on a Saturday and a Tuesday. It's I think, as I mentioned earlier, Charlie is obviously very disappointed with himself, very disappointed with the whole outcome of what's happened. And as I mentioned, that there'll be an internal investigation into it all, and then we'll take it from there, really.
And while you're on, Sean Young has asked about a couple of players. Where's Barry Mackay and Josh Morris?
Hopefully they're at home, just watching telly, chilling out, ready for training. Look, we've got a squad at the football club that I watch players on a daily basis in training, and then on a match day situation, you can have 11 starters who I think will probably like me. I'll have 7 sub who think I'm okay, and then probably a few other players that probably don't agree with the decisions, and that's right, because they want to be playing week in and week out, and they both have been very good for the football club. But since I've come to the club, we've played a slightly different system, which maybe doesn't suit probably them too, even though they've been in around it and got the odd sub appearances. I think also that some of the players that have been playing in their positions have come through and done really well. You only have to look at Jed Garner, who was probably not anywhere near the first team up till recently, and he got an opportunity and he's taken that opportunity. And when people are playing well, as James says, they'll be disappointed to lose the shirt. So that's how I work, and just unfortunate that them two have not really figured as much as they would like to do. But they're not the only two. There's other players that have gone out the squad at times, and you have to have a squad with the schedule that we've had over the last few weeks, Saturday, Tuesday, it's been relentless, and you need all them bodies. And they're still part of the club and still be training with the first team and still called upon and still probably get some game time from now to the end of the season.
Alex, are you back with us? No, he's there, but he's just sent me a text basically. During his bubble, he's staying with Harrison Biggins, and he's actually just sent me a text blaming Harrison Biggins' Wi-Fi.
I'm going to blame Biggo.
Yeah,
and he knows I'm going to blame him, because I said the connection best be decent for this. So anyway, sorry, somebody said that I blanked Ben or something, so I'm sorry about that, but I didn't even hear what got said. So
he asked a really long question about the fact that you're 5 games away from breaking the appearance record for Fleetwood Town. He had all sorts of stats, and then you just stared blankly at him for about 35 seconds. But you're 5 games away from breaking the record, and his point was you must be. That must be a huge honour that if you can get to it, that you could become the club's EFL biggest appearance maker.
Yeah, of course. That's massive for me. I think when I first joined the football club, I'd had 1 appearance under my belt in the football league. So I always look at that and look back at that and go, look where I am now, and I'm glad I've managed to do that at Fleetwood Town and be sort of the player I've become and get so many games under my belt, and it's a proud achievement for me, proud achievement for family, because I've come so far, and I'm looking forward to smashing that record, to be honest, and going on for hundreds more.
Good answer.
Can I just make a point on Alex? Alex sort of he mentioned there that he had 1 league appearance before that, and it was some appearance, to be fair. It was under me at Leeds. and it was against Blackpool, and we were losing so like 3 or 4-0 after half an hour, and unfortunately Paul Rabchukka was having an absolute nightmare to the point of the top at Ellen Road. Were baying for blood, and I could quite easily have taken him on at off before half time, but I put him. I had to take him off at half time, and Alex was the sub goalkeeper, and fair play to him, he came on and did a decent job, and his baptism of fire has probably stood him in good stead for his future career, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously worked with him when he was younger, Simon. Did you always see that he had the attributes to go on to make hundreds of appearances in the Football League?
No, not really. Alex was a young pro at Leeds at the time, and he was working with Andy Beasley. Casper Schmeichel was there, and people like Casper Ankergren and Shane Higgs. But what he was learning, willing to develop, and whether he got that opportunity at Leeds, it was going to be wait and see. I think David Lucas actually was probably at Leeds with Cairns as well, to be fair, but obviously couldn't make it at Leeds, but has gone on because of his pure enthusiasm and work rate and desire to succeed, and that's a massive trait for any footballer to have. If you've got that sort of mindset and an attitude, it takes you a long, long way, and that's a fine example to other players within our group, but also the younger players as well at the football club, that you're gonna, if you work hard, you're gonna get opportunities and have a real good career.
Very good. Steve Kerwood, there's been quite a few questions about, obviously people are desperate to get back into Highbury. I know you've been on a call with various officials today. We're very hopeful for the start of next season that football can go back to normal. Is that something that you're also hopeful about?
Yeah, remain very hopeful, getting us back where we need to be. We've just got to keep putting the pressure on from our side that, we're ready to go, and keep banging the drum that all our fans are willing to get out there and come back and enjoy what they've been enjoying for many, many years. And obviously we keep hearing noises and doubts of all sorts of things in the public sphere, but I think everyone needs to remain bullish and feel confident that we can get back to normal life as best we can. So yeah, very hopeful we can get everyone back as soon as possible.
And the call today, was it positive? Do other people think that? Do other CEOs think that?
I think there's some element of trepidation as we hear from the medical fraternity around ongoing transmissions, etc., etc. But I think as a sport and a general public, and Andy mentioned it previously, given the vaccination rollout, given the reduction in hospitalizations and deaths, etc., this isn't something that's going to go away. So we've all got to be relatively bullish and try and get out there and live our lives as we've been used to historically, and enjoy that freedom we've always been used to. And yeah, there will be something we've got to live with, I think, and it's just accepting of that, and how we deal with that is a wider philosophical debate which was had. But me and Andy have had numerous debates about this, and we're confident we can get back out there, and hopefully the public generally who've supported us over this time will feel the same. And cases are low, hospitalizations are low, so let's get back to what we're normally used to.
I'm fully aware that the England game starts shortly, so we've got 10 more minutes, and then you can all go and watch England hopefully hammer San Marino. Quite a few questions in the comments coming up about the academy and the youth team. A couple of people, what's Simon's view on the academy progression? Matty Wallace is actually asking, did any of you watch the Youth Cup? I know for a fact Steve Kerwood, Simon and Andy were in the stadium. I'm sure Alex and James are watching at home. Any of you want to comment on what you thought that night? Were you impressed? I mean, it was obviously a really good display against a good Bristol City team. Simon?
Well, it was the first opportunity for me to really look at the youth team and what they were capable of doing. And when you're playing against a team that have got a category above us, I thought the players did extremely well. I spoke to them before the game about doing themselves proud, doing the football club proud and the families proud, and then went in to see them after the game as well, and told them that they'd done that, even though they'd lost on penalties. It was a real good team performance. There's some good talented individuals as well. So it was really pleasing. Once it goes to penalties, unfortunately, it can go one way or the other. But they've done really well in that performance, but also the top of their league as well. And I've just said to them as well that try and respond now by sampling the success and a good feel factor by going on to win the league, which will be a fantastic achievement. So, and also you see them, and I will give them a pathway to the first team if they're good enough, because of the likes of James and other young players that have been into the team recently. So that's it's really encouraging, and that's why the academy has been set up in the first place, to produce players for the first team.
Great. I don't really ask Hilly or Cairns a question because they're both on this go slow, but hopefully Hilly's still with us. And there's a question come in on Facebook from Alan Gordon Partridge. Hilly, where did you get that long throw from? And I'll follow it up with, when did you first realise you had that long throw? At what age did you start whipping the ball into the middle of the box?
I don't know. I've just always really had a long throw. Gaffer says it's not that long, but still working on it. But no, I kind of, from a youngsters, from like grassroots, I think it was just one game in the cup. I just decided, I was going to see how far I could throw it down the line, because I was actually playing centre back, and our right back couldn't throw the ball because he had a sore arm. So I ended up just throwing the ball quite far down the line, and then ended up competing in like throwing events at school as well. So it's kind of just developed from there.
And is it something you work on, or is it just a natural talent you've got and you don't really know why?
Yeah, just one of them. Well, I don't actually know how I've got it. I just can manage to throw a ball quite far.
Good answer. Good answer. I'm just looking through the comments. We've got plenty coming in. Nathan Davison's asking to the gaffer, will we be looking to make any big signings this summer? I'm sure the answer is yes.
Well, we're just going to go off and watch the England game tonight. So that's see what's available from the England squad. Yeah, look, in terms of recruitment, we spoke about it already, that we want to bring in good players for this football club that are going to improve us, make us better, and give us a real good push for next year to be successful. So that could be experienced players from under 23 squads from the Premier League, or free transfers or money spent in the summer. So a whole opportunity to bring good footballers to the club.
This is a question that was handed to me on a piece of paper at Poolfoot today, handwritten. It's from Beryl, who's a fan, Simon, you'll get to know when you get into the stadium. She said, congratulations, Simon. Now you're the permanent boss. When you do the team talks, do the boys get to have a say? Or is it just the manager knows best?
Well, not before the game. It's predominantly sort of we do presentations and we speak about it. I do give the dressing room the opportunity to ask any questions if they're unhappy or unclear or anything. And if they are, then we try and make it clearer for them. Sometimes after a defeat, you ask the players what their thoughts are as well. So I'm quite open to players having discussions. I think what you find is that players are a little bit shy sometimes when it comes to answering or mentioning things in the dressing room. But I think what we've got is a real good group of players that really care and have got the hunger to do well and eager to listen. That's a big thing, that sometimes you're in dressing rooms and you can sense that players are not focused on listening to people. As a player, I've been there and seen players with their heads down, and manager when I've been a manager as well. But this group of players are really focused and want to improve and want to get better.
Great. And a question for Andy Pilley. Quite a few people asked this, actually. It's about Paddy Madden. Obviously, a few eyebrows were raised when the news was released that we'd sold our record goal scorer. What was the thinking behind that from a club's point of view?
Well, just to really talk my way through what happened, I received a call, and it was from a representative from Stockport County, and they inquired about Paddy. And I remember then sharing the news with Steve, and we kind of had a little bit of a snigger to ourselves. We thought, Paddy going to Stockport, we really can't see this happening. And to be fair to them, they really were quite relentless, and they came back. They came back again. They offered a very decent price. They also engaged with Paddy's agent. They've offered Paddy a long-term contract on very, very good money. And ultimately what we did is we sat Paddy down and we spoke to Paddy. And Paddy wanted to take the security of a long-term contract on very good money. And I think what we've got to be mindful of in football, the Paddy Madden transfer, the Paddy Madden era was a huge success for Fleetwood and for Paddy. But we must do all we can to stop players that we sign for money leaving for zero money, because the economics of football, we need to be able to reinvest that money into another centre forward or into another player or two players. And sometimes there's just simply a good time to trade. And Paddy's been an absolute star. I know he's a real fan's favourite, but I'd ask the supporters to trust us on it. We think we've got a really exciting one in Jed coming through. I think Kyle's been a real handful for any defender, and we will be looking to recruit, I'm sure, in that position as well in the summer. But sometimes it's the right time to shake a player's hand and wish him all the best.
Very good. Just questions are coming in now. This one's from Jack Hamer on Facebook. One final question for Andy and Simon. We've had Callum Conley for the last couple of seasons on loan. Is there any chance of making an offer to sign him permanently?
Should I go first with that? I mean, Callum Conley he was with us last season as well, and he's a great lad. He's a pleasure to have at the football club. He's one of those who leads by example, and he sets the bar for everybody. He really does. He sets a standard that everybody has to match. I'd be delighted to keep him at the football club. It's going to be a tough ask because he's come from Everton, but I think he likes it. I think he enjoys the fantastic facilities we have. He lives in the northwest, and if Simon's keen, then again, he's a player who I've no doubt we would sit down and have a conversation with.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Nola said there, is that Callum's done really well for the football club, and it's been great for the other younger players who are playing alongside him at the back. Trains very well. I think he's probably going to be out of contract at Everton. So look, I'm pretty sure that we would like to have some sort of negotiations with him and his representatives to see where we can go. If he ends up going to the Championship, then you say, well done, Callum, you deserve that because you've been fantastic to work with and you've done really well for us. But we're certainly going to throw our hat in the ring to try and to entice him to stay with us for a longer period of time. And I think if you ask James, I think he'll have enjoyed playing alongside Callum through the experience of somebody who's played a lot more games than James.
We're getting loads and loads of questions about the academy. It's great to see so many of you are showing interest. Just to let you know, 11,500 people watched our live stream the other night of against in the Youth Cup against Bristol City, which is fantastic. Matty Wallace asks here, heard an under-16 got an England call up this week. Steve, is that one for you about the club? It's Josh Feeney. You must be the fact that we're getting England call-ups after Billy Crellin, who obviously played 16s, 17s, 18s and 19s. It must be a really proud moment for the club. Yeah, it's brilliant. Josh has made great strides. Played the other night for the under-18s as an under-16. Much coveted, much interest out there, and deserved his England call-up. So I think he plays against Wales over the next few days. So it's fantastic for an England to be spotting one of our young academy players. And I think this just goes back to what we've said earlier about the progression of the academy. It's only in its 7th season. We said it would be, a minimum of 10 years before we really get anywhere. But I think we are probably ahead of schedule. Great group of young pros coming through. Obviously got Hilly on there, but Harrison Holgate, Jed Garner, Rydell, Morris. Don't forget Matete. He's doing well on loan at Grimsby. Billy Crellin's still out on loan, not quite worked at Bolton this year, but Billy's still got a great future. So it really is bearing fruit. And those who watched the under-18s game the other day will see some of the younger ones from that group again going to be pushing the door as much as they can over the next season or so. So real important. That we're really proud that we're getting the accolades and it's supporting and will prop up a big part of the football club. Really proud of it. Right, we're coming to the end. The comments still coming, including one from Tom Mercer, who's asking when the Alex Cairns statue is going up outside the stadium. Probably brush over that one for now. And also, I suppose it's a tongue-in-cheek one, but it might not be one for you, Simon. It's from Jack Gaming, and it asks, would you ever sign your son? Obviously, your son Joe's on loan at Oxford at the moment from Blackburn. Is that one that you would ever do?
It's tough. He played on Tuesday night for Oxford against Northampton. I went down to watch him. Do I think he's a good player? I think he's got a lot of ability. Was it put any extra pressure on him to play be at the football club where his dad is? Maybe. I don't know is that answer, to be fair. If he wasn't my son, I would be looking to sign him, I think, in the summer. But seeing as he is my son, I might just have to see where we go on that one.
Well answered, very diplomatic. We got a couple of questions about the documentary as well. I think we covered that in the last in the last forum. Andy, any update on the documentary while we're here?
Well, I think Steve's probably the best person to speak to. He's more up to date than me.
Yeah, I sound like a broken record on this one. Unfortunately, we are nearly there. We have got a streaming, well-known on streaming platform. I'm hoping to get an offering on the next week. So I've got a call on it tomorrow as it happens. Again, it's subject to the court proceedings again. Joey's court case. There is a final episode, a 6th episode, just being concluded, which is a no holds barred Andy giving his piece on Joey's journey and what happened towards the end, and Joey giving his side of the story as well, part which we've not seen yet. So hopefully that'll make interesting viewing, and no holds barred. That's what it was about, nuts and bolts. So that's going to be concluded the next week or so. So hopefully, and again, I'll probably come back another few weeks and say the same, but we're confident as we can be that this will get aired very soon.
The target's the summer, Steve, isn't it? That's what the producer said to me.
Yeah.
I keep trying to wrap up, but good questions keep coming in. This is one from Rick Gilby, and to be honest, he emailed me this before, and I forgot to ask it, so I'm glad he's put it on. One to Simon. Now that your contract has been confirmed, Simon, how will you measure a successful tenure? You've taken 4 clubs out of League One, therefore, is that the realistic aim for Fleetwood?
Well, I want to be successful at this football club, and if that means getting them into the Championship, then you have been a success. Look, the club has been very close to over the last few years. I think it was Uwe had them in the playoffs as well as Joey. So it's been on the periphery of that for a number of years now. And if I didn't think that we could work together to try and achieve that, then I don't think I'd be at the football club. And Andy might not have signed me as well, thinking I was the wrong person to try and get us out of this football club. So what I've done in the past is the past, but I can draw on my experiences from other clubs of what's happened there and what it maybe takes to get out of the divisions. So yeah, looking forward to it. And if we all work hard together, then you can, anything's achievable. And yeah, that's the sole purpose to get out of the to get into the Championship whenever that may be.
Right, so we're coming to the end now. So we're just going to go to each person and ask basically for your thoughts between now and the end of the season and beyond. So what are your hopes for the future? Assuming Cairns hasn't frozen again, hopefully. So James Hill,
I hope not.
You've had a really, really good, promising start to 2021. What would you say your ambition is for the rest of it?
Just to carry on the way I'm going, just play as many games as I can now. Just try and take every game in my stride and just keep trying to train well.
Great answer. You can tell by the way he's been well prepared by our academies and media trained already. Alex Cairns, you're making up for lost time, I suppose, and you're just enjoying playing and keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, of course. For me, looking at what Ben said, I want to smash that record, play as many games as I can to the end of the season, get as many clean sheets, and then look to see where that leaves us, and then bounce into next season. Really
fantastic, Steve Kerwood. But obviously, it's been a difficult year for the business. From the business point of view, you'll be hoping we get a bit of normality back, I guess.
That's it. Yeah, get the income streams back on, but as well on the field, just to keep the upward momentum, keep the lads building together, and hopefully we'll keep as many as possible as we can in that squad for next season.
And Simon, over to you. What was your hopes?
Yeah, look, to just finish the season on a real positive manner. Look, we've still got a number of games left where we can win them and put ourselves still in the mix come the end of the season. So we're driving the players every day on to be better, to keep improving, to win as many football matches as possible. And obviously we had a blip against Swindon last Saturday, but we've had a clear week to prepare ready for the Easter period. Just embrace the next few weeks and see where it takes us. And after that, we want to finish the season positively to have momentum ready for the start of next season.
And the last word to the chairman, Andy.
I'd like to see us maintain the momentum that we've managed to achieve since the Accrington game. We've got 14 points from the last 7 games, which is automatic promotion form. If we can take that into next season, we're very happy. I'd like to see the players we're looking to re-sign, to commit to the future of the club. I think the future is what we make it, and we've got a fantastic place of work with good people running the club, and it's the place to be. So again, put your name on those signing forms, and we can plan for the future. And more than anything, I want to see the supporters back next year, because it's so much better when Highbury is rocking after a great victory. It's not the same without supporters. And I'd also like to just place on record my thanks to all the supporters who I think have been unbelievable this year, and they've stuck with the club when we really needed them most. It's been absolutely horrendous trading conditions. We've lost all of our revenue streams, and virtually everybody has stood by the club, and they haven't asked us for a refund on their onward cards. So thank you very much for that. It's hugely appreciated, and I look forward to seeing all of you back at Highbury as soon as we possibly can.
I think that's a great place to leave the evening on a real positive note. Thank you to all our guests this evening. I think you've really, judging from the comments, everybody's really enjoyed it. And I've said it before, we'll keep doing this as long as there's a desire from the fans for us to do it. So really appreciate everybody's input, and particularly to everybody on the panel this evening for giving up their evening. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Night, everyone.